So I've got a few things to catch you up on this week. I've got the blocks from Grandma's Kitchen, which is Sloan's block of the week. I've got a couple of blocks from UFOs that I've been working on, one of my works in progress, and 2 new patterns that I bought, and another pattern that I actually won in a giveaway, which was a really nice surprise. So welcome to this week's catch up on what I've been up to. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Jane. My channel's Thread My Bobbin, where I just share sewing and quilting projects that I'm working on, and down the track some tutorials and things. So let's get started with Pat Sloan's Grandma's Kitchen blocks. So this is the first one. I'm doing it in a blue and yellow pattern, and this one is called Half a Modern. And they're turning out really well. I'm really pleased with how they're coming up. So that's Half a Modern. I'm catching up on old blocks because I only started this a couple of weeks ago. Now this one, and I really like the fabrics in this. This blue here was just a little scrap that I had. That's probably all I'll get out of it, but I really like it. And this one is one of the liberties that I got given. So this block is called Glasses and Cups. This block's called Washday. So I had to go back and check when I was finished because it's smaller than the other blocks, but Pat says in the pattern that she says that not all the blocks are going to be the same size in the pattern. So that's fine. I did check all my measurements before I found that. And it's a bit like a friendship star, really. But that's really sweet. So that's one's called Washday. With my UFOs, and I guess my UFOs are probably, the big project for the year of trying to catch up. And in my first video, if you haven't seen that, I go through all my UFOs and talk about them and show them to you. So yeah, if you are new here and you want to see all the UFOs I'm working on, you can go back to that first video. So one of those UFOs is the London town pattern that, again, Pat Sloan has been working on. And we had just come back from a trip overseas when I got back. We spent 3 weeks in the UK, and she had that pattern up, so I had to make it. And I'm very happy with how it's going. So this is this second block. I'm just checking here for the names I've written down. So this is the Tower of London block. And they're coming up really nicely. I'm hoping to work a bit more on the London town blocks in the next few weeks and get caught up there. So that's another block of London town completed. Those over there. Now, one of the other things in my UFOs, I had started the Gypsy Wife quilt, now called, I think, Wanderer's Wife. And I had done it in mainly Cape fabrics. And I didn't know if I wanted to proceed and go on and make the whole quilt. So after looking at it for quite a while, I've decided I don't want to finish that quilt. I want to turn it into something else. I'm not sure what the something else is going to look like yet, but that's kind of half the fun. So what I did do is I've taken all these blocks, and I've got a little time lapse that'll show you all these blocks. And I have just sewn down 2 sides of them. This is 1 inch wide black fabric strip. So I've done that for all the blocks here. And now that I've done that, what I'll do is I'll clear off the wall behind me and put them up and play around with them and decide how I want to lay them out, whether I want to border them all with those strips or whether I want to put a strip of another fabric between. So before I do the next step, I just need to play around. But I am really happy with how they're looking. And so that's another UFO I'm working on. My Leaders and Enders project for the year is also my Rainbow Scrap Challenge quilt. And I mentioned before, if you haven't heard of Rainbow Scrap Challenge, it's run each year from a blog, and I can link to that below. And each month she gives you a different colour to use your scraps for. So this year, my Rainbow Scrap Challenge is Omigosh. And they're really tiny pieces because I'm just interested in learning to work with tiny pieces. And you end up with a lot of them with, fabric scraps. So this, oh my gosh. And each month, I'm starting each month with making the half square triangles. Last month was pink and I got all those made. And this month is blue and I've got all these made. They're just waiting to be trimmed up. The colour for March is yellow. And so that's what I'll start working on now. And these are just my leaders and enders. And I have them in a little basket and use them between sewing other projects. There are other blocks that need to be made for this, but I'm going to make them all together at the end of in the last few months of the year. So that's my oh my gosh for February is completed. So I'm up to date with my plan to get that finished by the end of the year, but to get the flimsy finished by the end of the year. Now, I've been trying not to buy patterns, but I ended up buying 2 patterns that I couldn't resist. So this one is Star Upon Star, a laundry basket quilt, and I just love it. I love the colours. I love that it's so many tiny pieces. I think it would be quite a long-term project, so I won't be starting it soon, but I did buy that, and I even got her little templates. So there's a box here that comes with the templates. I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm realistic that probably won't even get started until 2026. And it's going to take, that's really going to be an interesting project to work on. But laundry basket quilts, she just has such beautiful quilts. Now, the other pattern I bought, I could not resist this. This is called Tile Tripping by Margaret George. And again, having been on our trip to the UK and visited a lot of churches, cathedrals, castles, it just reminded me of that as soon as I saw it. And circles, I haven't worked a lot with circles. I thought, I have to have that. So when I read a bit more about it, it's actually, I'll just find this. So she actually says here, the patterns are mainly an amalgamation of tiles seen in the Wells Cathedral and the Cathedral of Abbey Church of St Albans in England. And so that's why I felt, having just visited there and been in all these churches and castles, that's why it really, I have to have that. So here's a picture of it on a bed. I love that it's kind of silver and bronze and gold. And I found that when we were traveling, everyone is looking around, and on the floor, I'm taking photographs of these beautiful floors and, tile patterns. And also in Italy, it's the same, the floors of the churches are just so beautiful. So I have lots and lots of photos of floors and windows of churches. So this pattern, Tile Tripping, again, that's probably going to be next year, but I'll start collecting fabrics for that. And I think I want to do the same sort of fabrics, kind of that, so they look metallic, so, silver, gold, copper. I'm going to start collecting fabrics for this shortly. One of the things I haven't done yet, but I've been saving my fabric scraps for, is doing fabric collage. And I've been on a few mailing lists for quite a while. And Lorraine Turner from Calico Horses, she has absolutely beautiful patterns. And she had a giveaway for people on her email list, and I won a free pattern. So here it is. So it's called The Berry Thief by Lorraine Turner. My scrap baskets are both full, which means it's time for me to process them and get them sorted. And I might make a video of how I store my scraps and how I process them. just strategies that have worked for me. But it will be time for me to, do some collage. I've been saving and saving tiny little crumb pieces for a long time, and it'll be great to be able to use them up. The other work in progress that I've been working on is the Quilted Witch. It's going very well, and I'll have that video out on Friday. I have got a few new bits of fabric and some things to add to that. I'm looking forward to how it's going to come together. I've got a new idea for the skirt. I'm playing around. I've had the squares up on the board for quite a while now, playing around with them. And then I've had a bit of a different idea the other day of what I might do with the skirt. I've got the witch's hat and the hair to make first, and the broomstick, and then we're on to the skirt. So it's coming together really well. So that's been my week. If you've enjoyed this, or if you'd like to see how these projects turn out, or you just like watching quilting videos, if you could subscribe, that would be great. That would help my channel out. I love reading people's comments. I really enjoy the community side of YouTube. It's been very welcoming and friendly, and I've really enjoyed that. So thank you to everyone that comments, says hello, and everyone that watches. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next week.